Hey, welcome back to Cheating Wife, the best channel for cheating stories. Like and subscribe to the channel for cheating stories like this. The only love of my life cheated on me after 14 years together. Hello everyone, it will be a lengthy read since subtleties are important in my narrative. My wife and I met at a university, not in the United States, when we were 17 years old. After that, she had a remote crush on me for approximately 2 years, although I didn't know her well. Then we met and fell madly in love. Yup, we were young, but still. I was a high-achieving, top-tier university student. With a wide range of unusual talents for my age, a variety of interests, music, sports, etc., extracurricular activities, and accomplishments. Everyone I met at various periods of my life appeared to have extremely high expectations of me. She was also an excellent student. However, at the time, I had fewer talents and interests. Girls were always interested in me since I was tall, gorgeous, blue-eyed, and fit, so I didn't have to do anything. She was also incredibly attractive, an angel-faced girl with blue eyes and a terrific figure. My first employment came in my third year of university. She, too, began working. I created my first business with my pals at the age of 20 while juggling my first 3 jobs. I was an early achiever. The company demanded a lot of my time and energy at various phases of my life, with little results. We'll go back to that later. We married at the age of 23. We were from a pretty conventional community, so that was the first time we had real intercourse. I know, very foolish. I organized a surprise vacation to Europe and proposed to her in a romantic place. I assisted her in landing her first and second corporate positions, by suggesting her and then assisting her in preparing presentations. She was a fantastic prospect who excelled. I had to quit my work soon after my marriage since the project I was heading was shut down. I returned to the aforementioned company and spent 1.5 years working on it. She, on the other hand, excelled in her career and became financially independent. As I worked on my company, I could barely sustain myself and did not have as much money to spend on us and her as I would have liked. Because she was the one who became financially independent after our marriage, we never established a joint account or budget, which proved to be essential later in our lives. We relocated to another nation for 6 months after she became pregnant at the age of 25. While I was there, I received a message from a lady indicating that my wife was seeing another man. I didn't believe it at first, but when I confronted her, she admitted that she was just platonically engaged with a high school sweetheart and that she stopped that relationship half a year ago. The news jolted me. I became depressed. In both my relationship and my work, I felt like a failure. However, since mental health was not a widely publicized subject in our community at the time, I did not understand that I was depressed. When we returned to the nation, she began a new career, but it did not work out, and she was left without money for the first time in her life. However, I had already begun a nice work at a large company that paid well and kept us going for many months until she acquired a new position, which I helped her to land by preparing some files and presentations. However, history repeated itself, and the company I worked for was closed down, so I launched my own consulting firm, which earned a solid income. During this time, I had bodily symptoms of depression and was given antidepressants, but no counseling was provided. I had gained a significant amount of weight, and my hair had significantly receded. Perfect timing. Anhedonia took hold. I gave up all of my interests, stopped hanging out with my friends, and stopped caring about my looks. As a result of my anxiety, my attachment style shifted. I was always secure before. All I wanted to do after a long day at work was go home and spend time with my wife and kid. That was the one thing that made me happy. Later, about a year after delivering a kid, my wife disclosed to me that she had met the same guy numerous times before, but that she had terminated things for the better and would not see him again. My error was not delving deeply into the specifics to discover what was lacking in our connection. I thought that was a lesson for her and that she would never do it again. She changed jobs around 2 years ago and now leads one of the largest corporations in her area. Her earnings increased dramatically. I began my consulting firm, which did well at first but was harmed by the epidemic. However, in recent months, it has finally achieved success. I met our family's monthly mortgage and basic financial necessities for many years while she had greater opportunity to spend on other, mainly more joyful items and activities. As a result, she was the one who suggested weekend vacations, excursions, and so on. Furthermore, I was unable to arrange holidays since she was required to spend 1 month overseas with her mother owing to visa requirements. She generally went there by herself. This changed the power dynamic since she would be making more choices. At the same time, I felt unable to give us with the lifestyle I desired or to be as romantic as I desired. But I made up for it by being a loving, caring, and supportive husband and parent. She got very engaged on social media. She appeared as gorgeous, sensual, and charming as ever. She began new activities and excelled at them. During that time, I discovered that she had flirted with other men online. But she apologized and assured me that she didn't take it seriously and that she would stop behaving that way. She contacted me around 6 months ago, wept, and said she needed to tell me something. When I saw her for lunch, she revealed that she had lost interest in me. That has been the case for some years. That was the first time she mentioned anything being wrong with our relationship. When I asked her why, she vaguely alluded to my looks. She said nothing else, so I told her to wait for me and resolved to get in shape. She concurred. I dropped a lot of weight, my company improved, and my projects became viral. My endeavors finally paid off. I could provide us the lifestyle I desired. But it cost me a lot. If I had chosen a steady, corporate existence over entrepreneurship, I would have been far ahead financially much sooner. But then the worst happened. When I woke up one night and went out to the living room, I saw my wife FaceTiming with a grin on her face. As soon as she spotted me, she cut the call and said goodbye to her mother. But I had a feeling something was wrong. I approached her, seized her phone, and asked that she tell me what was going on. She fought for approximately 15 minutes before breaking down in tears and telling me everything she hadn't told me before. She was in a vehicle approximately a year after our marriage, 9 years ago, but she couldn't tell me because she believed it was her fault. She had been having an ongoing, full-fledged affair with her work subordinate, that I knew about, for 2 months and had fallen in love with him. They had in the vehicle numerous times on their way from work to our home. My life had been wrecked. When I loved her with all my heart, she pulled a rug under my feet. I was outraged, but just for about 2 hours. Deep melancholy sunk in after that. We spent the next day together. She was very repentant and wanted to ensure that I would not abandon her. I went for 2 days to cool down, and we promised to chat when I returned. She informed AP that she was choosing family above all else and that she was ending things. They do, however, continue to work in nearby rooms, and she is still drawn to him. When I returned, I asked her what she was thinking. At first, she replied she would remain loyal forever. But then she hesitated and informed me that she had prepared this phrase several times, but she would not be honest if she promised it. She said that she was unhappy and was weary of wearing the happy wife mask for so long. Was she asked to behave that way? We had numerous long chats over the next several weeks. I wanted to know what the major problem in our relationship was, and why she had lost attraction. She hadn't given much consideration to the specifics, but I pushed further to discover answers. She seemed to have preferred that I led the partnership financially and in terms of decision-making. She attempted to eliminate this expectation from our relationship when the dynamic evolved, but when she did, she stopped respecting me and, as a result, lost interest to me. She disliked the fact that she had to work on some jerks while I chose not to work in the same atmosphere and pursued my principles. She also assumed I didn't want to be socially engaged, to look well, and to be regarded in our social group. Furthermore, I discovered that she feigned all throughout the intercourse. However, I always during the foreplay. I was always the one who started new things in the bedroom, who brought in toys and spiced up the life. Why hadn't she told me about it sooner? She knew I'd make sure she was happy. Why didn't she express her unfulfilled needs over these years? Her response was that she believed it was apparent and that she lacked the courage to say so. Also, she had never idea how depression affected individuals until today. She exclusively discussed our relationship problems with her female colleague, another red sign, who had a gloomy, unemployed spouse. That girl would also reflect her reality onto our connection. She was always jealous of my wife and showed it on several times, but my wife did not notice it until lately. However, she remains friends with her on some level. On the contrary, I never broached the subject of our connection with any of my friends. After early discussions, my wife said that she was not ready to make any decisions, so we chose to see separate therapists. She also accepted to couples therapy. I went insane for many weeks after that. I first opted against making contact. But I didn't like that concept and instead began dating my wife again, to remind her of the good old days and who I was before depression. After a few days, she informed me that it was the first time in a long time that she felt anything when embracing and kissing me, but the attraction was still missing. She said that she did not believe everything had been lost. And that she felt tranquil after telling me everything, a sensation she hadn't had in years. However, during several of our encounters, I discreetly checked her phone, felt envious, and our dynamic was once again altered. We now meet around twice a week, with and without the kid. We embrace, kiss, and even dance on occasion. But she does not want to be with him right now. She has no idea about the future and has not made any decisions. She even advised me to date other women so she would not feel bad and would know I was okay. She claims I am her soulmate, her person, but she has no attraction to me, which she finds extremely essential. She loves me but is no longer in love with me. She also claims to have affections for him. Yes, I was in a great relationship, I was sad and didn't live up to my full potential, but I never ceased being a hard-working, attentive, caring, and supporting husband and father. This was never my fault. I had a big effect on who she is today, what talents she has, and what views she follows. She even said that she would not be where she is in life without me. On the other hand, if I had genuine support and collaboration from my wife, I would be far further along in life. I still have a lot of feelings for her. I never lost interest in her, never looked for defects in her, I placed her on a pedestal. When the couple's therapist questioned her about me, she answered, "He is the kindest, most genuine guy, kind, brilliant, amazing parent, and great human." What she didn't like about me was that I didn't take care of myself and was too focused on her. That I was too cautious in several areas. I dislike standard nice guy descriptions. I know I've let her cross my limits many times. I'm sure she has a distorted picture of me in her head as a result of years of chats with her buddy and my sadness. I know she behaved selfishly. But, despite her shortcomings, I still adore her. She has extremely high standards in all aspects of her life. She is highly disciplined, very professional, honest, compassionate, and kind to others. She is very talented, artistic, she is full of life and good energy. She regarded me as the lone person with the lowest regard. I'd want her to genuinely understand what she's done and how far she's fallen. To improve oneself as much as possible. Currently, though, I am the only one reading relationship and self-discovery books and viewing videos. That has always been the case. I would spend hours trying to grasp things, and she would receive the major takeaways from me. The one thing I know I should do, and have tried to do, is focus on myself and become the greatest version of myself as quickly as possible. But the agony is unbearable. I'm having trouble sleeping. I'm having difficulty concentrating on my task. I managed to bury the pictures of the affair deep inside my head in order to avoid flashbacks. But I don't want to be without her. I know that if she tried, we could work things out and reignite the flame, but I can't make that choice for her. I never informed anybody else about this experience save the therapists. I'm not sure what I anticipate from you, counsel, support, or a reality check. I simply wanted to tell someone about it.